I used to do food delivery in a small town about an hour north of Toronto during winter break. Most nights were completely dead after 10 p.m., especially in January. The roads would be empty, the neighborhood silent, and every driveway just looked like a black opening in the snow. Honestly, I liked it. The money wasn't great, but driving around at night with music on felt peaceful. There was one area, though, just outside town, that every driver hated delivering to. It was this long stretch of back roads surrounded by forest. No streetlights, barely any houses, just long driveways disappearing into trees. One night around 11:30, I got an order for a place out there. The app said the customer's name was M. Walker. That was it. No delivery instructions. The drive took about 20 minutes, and the farther I got from town, the worse the weather became. Snow was blowing sideways across the road, and my headlights barely lit anything past a few feet. Eventually, the GPS told me to turn onto this narrow gravel road I'd never noticed before. There were no other houses around. At the very end was a small two-story place with one porch light on. I grabbed the food and walked up to the door. The entire property was dead silent. No cars, no lights inside except a faint glow upstairs. I knocked once. Nothing. Then my phone buzzed. It was a message through the app. "Leave it on the back porch." I remember just standing there, staring at my screen, because I swear I'd walked past the backyard entrance on the way up, and there were no lights back there at all. Still, I didn't want a complaint, so I walked around the side of the house. The second I turned the corner, it got completely dark. No porch light, nothing, just snow and the sound of wind through the trees. I used my phone flashlight and slowly made my way toward the back steps. That's when I noticed footprints in the snow. Bare footprints, not shoe prints, actual human footprints. They started at the tree line and ended directly at the back door. I stopped walking immediately. The weird part was they looked fresh. Snow was still collecting around the edges. I remember staring at them, trying to convince myself they were from earlier in the day or something. Then I noticed there was another set, going the opposite direction, back into the woods. Before I could even process that, I heard something move behind me. Not close, maybe 20 or 30 feet into the trees, just one heavy crunch in the snow. I turned my flashlight toward the forest, expecting maybe a deer. Instead, I caught someone standing between the trees, tall, completely still. I couldn't make out a face, but I could tell they weren't wearing a jacket. Just this pale figure half hidden in the dark. I froze, and then my phone buzzed again. Another message from the customer. "You left it at the wrong house." I looked back at the screen for maybe 1 second, but when I lifted the flashlight again, the figure was gone. I didn't even leave the food. I just walked straight back to my car as calmly as I could, without fully sprinting. The entire drive back, I kept checking my mirrors. About 10 minutes later, I got another notification from the app. The order had been canceled. No refund request, no complaint, nothing. Just canceled. The next day, I told another driver about it while we were waiting for orders. The second I mentioned the gravel road, he interrupted me. He asked if the house had one porch light and trees surrounding the backyard. I said yes. Then he told me nobody had lived there for years. Apparently, an older man froze to death somewhere behind the property during a snowstorm. They found him barefoot in the woods. When I was doing delivery during college, Everyone at the restaurant hated cash orders late at night. Not because people didn't pay, usually because the addresses were sketchy. Around 1 a.m. one Friday, an order came through for a part of town I'd never delivered to before. It was one of those industrial areas that turns completely dead at night. Warehouses, fenced lots, transport yards, nothing else. The order was huge too. Almost $80 worth of food. Cash payment. My manager asked if I was okay taking it because the area was pretty far out. I said yeah, because I wanted the tip. The GPS brought me down this long, empty road beside a rail yard. No streetlights except every couple hundred feet. Eventually, I saw the address painted on an old warehouse door. No houses anywhere nearby. Just this massive dark building with one light above a side entrance. I remember checking the app again because I genuinely thought the address had to be wrong. But it matched. I grabbed the pizzas and walked up to the door. The second I got close, I heard people inside. Not talking normally, arguing, like multiple voices yelling over each other. Then it suddenly stopped, completely silent. A few seconds later, the side door opened maybe 2 inches. I couldn't see the person behind it clearly, just one eye staring through the gap. I asked if they ordered the food. The guy nodded. Then he said, "How many people saw you come here?" Such a weird question that I honestly laughed a little. But he didn't laugh back. He just kept staring at me. I told him nobody. Then he slowly opened the door enough to stick cash through the gap. His hands were shaking badly. I counted the money automatically while holding the pizzas. That's when I realized he gave me way too much. Like hundreds too much. I started trying to hand it back, and the guy suddenly whispered, "Just leave." Not aggressive, terrified. Right after he said that, I heard a loud crash somewhere deeper inside the warehouse, like metal falling over. Then another voice yelled, "Who's at the door?" The guy's face completely changed. He shoved the door harder closed and whispered, "You need to go now." I stood there for maybe 1 second too long, trying to process what was happening. Then I heard footsteps running toward the entrance from inside. Fast. The guy grabbed the pizzas out of my hands and slammed the door shut. Immediately, the light above the entrance turned off. I walked back to my car pretty fast after that. But right before I got in, I looked back at the warehouse. Someone was standing in the second floor window, watching me. I couldn't see their face, just a silhouette. The entire drive back, I had this feeling I shouldn't have been there. Like I interrupted something. The weirdest part happened the next day. I told my manager about it and asked if we'd delivered there before. He checked the order history. That address had never ordered from us. Not once. And the phone number attached to the order? Disconnected. A couple years ago, I was doing deliveries for a grocery app during winter. It paid better than pizza delivery because people ordered huge late-night runs when stores were closing. One night, right before I was about to log off, a final order popped up. The payout was massive, like weirdly massive for such a short drive. Only 5 items too. Bottled water batteries, duct tape, paper towels, bleach. I remember joking to the cashier that it looked like the start of a crime documentary. She actually laughed and said, "Yeah, I wouldn't take that one." I should have listened. The delivery address was in a newer subdivision outside the city, one of those developments where half the homes are still under construction. When I pulled in, almost the entire neighborhood was dark. No cars outside, no lights on. Just unfinished houses and snow blowing across the road. The address led me to a house at the very end of a cul-de-sac. No porch light, but the garage door was slightly open. The instructions said, "Leave inside garage." I already didn't like that. Most drivers wouldn't do it, but the app penalized you if customers complained enough. So I grabbed the bags and walked toward the garage. The second I stepped inside, I noticed there was almost nothing in there. No tools, no storage, nothing except a folding chair and another garage door leading into the house. That door was open just enough for darkness inside. I set the bags down and took a photo for the app. Then I heard it, a phone vibrating somewhere inside the house. Not ringing, just vibrating over and over against a hard surface. I remember backing toward the driveway slowly because something felt completely wrong. Then a man's voice from inside the house said, "Can you bring them to the kitchen?" I stopped immediately. The voice sounded calm, but way too close, like he'd been standing right behind the interior door the entire time. I told him I wasn't allowed to enter homes. No response. Then, "Please." Still calm, still close. I said the groceries were already delivered and started backing out again. That's when the vibrating phone suddenly stopped. Dead silence. And then another voice deeper inside the house asked, "Did he see me?" Every instinct in my body kicked in at once. I walked out of that garage as fast as I could without fully running. The second I got back into my car, the garage door started closing on its own. Slowly. I remember watching the gap get smaller and smaller. And right before it fully shut, I saw someone standing just inside the doorway, leading into the house. Not moving, just watching me leave. I contacted support afterward and told them the delivery felt unsafe. They asked if I wanted the customer blocked from future deliveries. I said yes immediately. A week later, another driver from our area posted in the group chat asking if anyone had ever delivered to that same address. Apparently, the exact same thing happened to him. Except when he arrived, the house was completely empty.